Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Still in the beautiful county of Siaya. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Yes, I took a much needed break, 3 days break. Yeah, sometimes you need it. Yeah, Christmas break so I did my last video, I think that was on 24th, so 25th, 26th and 27th. I did not produce any video, and the video that I shared was one that I had done earlier. And because we needed that rest. How did you spend your Christmas? For me, I was at home. Yeah, so I like some of the few observations I realized this side, guys, is that I went to a supermarket in Bondo at some point. I think that was on 24th, and I realized that people were buying books. People were not even buying, as the custom is, buying food stuff and all that. I realized that some guys were buying books, So, huku, and people did not travel up country. By the way, I can confirm. Back home here, quite a number of friends and peers were with, they did not come home. So that tells you things are tough. Now, I'm holding the Standard. This Standard newspaper has a news article, and it's the headline. For quite so long, Gachagua had not been the headline. The evolution of Gachagua. This is a Standard newspaper. It is today. This one is a newspaper I bought today in Bondo in the morning. And this article has a political objective that I want us to look at, because it's what I'm going to counter here. Before we look at that, I introduced for you a fundraiser for this granny here. So this granny here is 83-year-old, and as you can see where she's standing, this is a window of the house is really torn and is leaking. So when it rains, especially during this rainy season, it rains and there is nowhere she can put her head. So I reached out to you guys that this is going to be a project, I think now for January, because I've not done it for the last 3 days. So we're going to start to ensure as little as what you can get, 50, 100, and I want us to do a challenge to ensure that we give her a roof, give this nanny a roof, change a house, this granny a roof. Probably this will be our first one for January, and that's my number is there. Reach out. I already have 20 iron sheets, and I also have 10,000. So today I just wanted us to do what you can get. We need 35 iron sheets, so we just need to add 15 iron sheets and maybe nails and the other stuff. Tomorrow we will look at how we can get, if it was trees, it was timber. Then I think for the next 3 days we shall just be consolidating. You can buy the other mchanga ya kutumika. Then the first, I think by 2nd of January, we can build for our granny that house. Kindly partake of it, and I'll be so grateful. The number is 0710 62 78 89. Kevin Olo. Now, and what to Bondo, I really want to see that she comes from Uyoma Bondo, the other side of Bondo. Kindly tag along. This story is on page 6. The writer is talking about something very interesting, and I want us to look at it. It's on page 6, yes. And just get the title here. The title is clear. Gachagua from a lone ranger to regional leader with loyalists. Gachagua from a lone ranger to regional leader with loyalists. The political objective of this article was to boost the profile of Rigathi Gachagua. And there is something that editor is talking about, and that is what I want us to look at. And he's talking about how Rigathi access, or rather the evolution of Rigathi Gachagua, can boost the Mount Kenya bargaining power. And I want us to look at some of his arguments. Number one is saying that despite the fact that from the start of the year 2023, the deputy president was seen as a man fighting battles alone, as in he didn't have leaders that were willing to coalesce around him. Remember, before we crossed over to 2023, Rigathi had given Mount Kenya leaders 30 days until 30th of December 2022 for all those who had been supporting Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga to cross over to Kenya Kwanza. Now that did not materialize because he was expecting everyone to be there. That did not materialize. Then throughout the year, there were so many battles, and one was on that 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. Not 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote, the shareholders. So he brought in the shareholders, and despite the fact that he was talking alone, leaders, until he said it last year, not last year, yes, he said it last year, but until September 2023 is when the president and the team then came out to denounce. And when speaking, when the president William Ruto was speaking in Kisumu, even called that narrative as backward and stupid for people who are fronting it. So that was first battle that Rigathi faced, and he had to change tact and even drop that shareholders thing. But as I said, it was never about Rigathi saying it. It was about government doing it. Now, the other second bit that has been seen, and according to pointers that editors pointed out, is the 3 centers of power. I want you to remember how Mutahi Kahiga, the Nyeri governor, came out passionately to defend the deputy president when they insisted that the UDA party cannot have 3 centers of power, in the essence that there cannot be 2 positions of deputy party leader. And they wanted Rigathi Gachagua to be the only deputy party leader, so that UDA party can only have 1 deputy party leader. And you could see the way Mutahi Kahiga and the team came out to defend him. Now he's saying that Rata is using that example, that during that, Mount Kenya leaders came out to defend him. But then I want you to look at that list. That list is majorly made of politicians from Nyeri, which is his backyard. Now this is Mutahi Kahiga, Wahome Wamatinga, that is the senator. MP John Kagucha comes from that place. Then there is others are Mary Wamaua, that is Muranga, the one MP, Jen Kihara, Naivasha, that is a friend, and Betty Maina, women rep from Muranga. Now, those are the names, those are the few that are around Rigathi Gachagua. So it is not true. That is what I wanted to point out here. It is not really true that Rigathi Gachagua has got himself loyalists. In fact, it is on record. If you speak to, not on record, but if you speak to politicians, you will understand something that happens, that before politician attends a function, they even facilitated. Yeah, they even given allowances in terms of how they're going to fuel their cars and the kind of money they're going to get there. And that has come out. So, but have you realized that at the same time, Rigathi has fallen out with Alice Wahome, Moses Kuria, and a host of other politicians, and even Ndindi Nyoro. And even Meru politicians who have been saying they want to form an alliance with Ukambani. So what this editor is talking about is a pointer, and he's saying something that Rigathi even has been having a chemistry with Kimani Ichung'wah, because Kimani Ichung'wah is the leader of the National Assembly, majority leader of the National Assembly. And because they've been having a chemistry, he seems to have been consolidating. And I'm like, that is not actually, from what I see here, this is a bit of a cosmetic. It is a bit of an article just to show that, you know what, we've stride, we've made a stride. But I am not seeing Mount Kenya still consolidating or coalescing around Rigathi. Can you look at Meru? Meru leaders, even though I don't support them, a host of those MPs, they're saying they want to form a political marriage with Ukambani leaders, because for long the Kikuyu side have been using them to ascend to presidency and they've never gotten the benefits. They're quite a caucus that was saying that. If you look at Moses Kuria and if you look at Alice Wahome, these people have fallen out. And I don't know why, and I may not get it, and that is why I have a pointer on if Mount Kenya is to coalesce and to bargain, have a better bargain, a bigger bargain in 2027, it must be on what has been delivered now. But as we talk, so many things are not still adding up, and together, despite the fact that he's close to the President Ruto, he has actually failed to counter the president and tell the president, you know what, Mr. President, this is wrong and my people are complaining about this and that. And a few who has come out to complain have been out not really in it. And just wanted to show you, as I bring it, you look at page 7. DP says farmers, look at page 7. This is page 6 of the same the article on, from Lone Ranger. Then just the next article is on DP says farmers reaping benefits of coffee reforms, better pay ahead. Now, it is just the same story of there is better pay ahead, but as we talk, for the first time, do you know that coffee farmers went to Christmas without money? Yes. If I am just making a political statement, someone can confirm this. I think I picked it from Gadono Mushomba. Check Gadono Mushomba's Facebook page. She said for the first time since time immemorial, Mount Kenya farmers are going to Christmas without the coffee money. So that is how dire the situation is, and that is why I want to first counter one aspect, that I am not still convinced, and I am not seeing a Mount Kenya that the loyalists that Rigathi has gathered are just political friends from Nyeri and a few. Look at Muranga. You've gotten Betty Maina, the women rep, and because Betty Maina is married to Rigathi Gachagua as a home MP, so you can see that relationship. You can look at Meru Amaua. Meru Amaua wants to be the governor to unseat Irungu Kangata, but is not. Rigathi is not in tandem with Ndendi Nyoro. If you look at Kiambu, Kiambu is a friend to Kimani Ichung'wah, but what? By the virtue that Kimani Ichung'wah is a majority leader, nothing is more attached to it. So not even with the governor. The governor has been telling William Ruto that I'm not going to give title deed for the Del Monte land, seed land for the affordable housing, and he's not come out with it. So I'm not seeing still that bargaining, and that is why I want to explain to you my four political understandings why around Rigathi Gachagua, Mount Kenya still have a low bargaining power. The biggest bargaining power, if they were to have the best bargaining power, then it will be through Uhuru Kenyatta route. I will explain that maybe sometime. But now, before I look at that, I want to still remind you guys that this granny here does not have a place to stay. And where she stays, the house is leaking and in a very poor state. So one of us had reached out to me about it and had offered me 20 pieces of iron sheets. The plan is to make sure that we just establish a new house for her. So with 20 pieces of the iron sheets, we just need to add some 15 or 10, probably 15. Then we shall pay the fundi, tununue mti, the other things, and to establish a house. So kindly, for now, I think I had a budget of around 113, but I'm still starting with the first bit is tununue mabati leo. So send me anything. Mabati moja is 1300. If you can buy me one mabati, it's fine. If you can even send 100, we buy sumari and any other thing today. Between now and second, we shall just be putting up those things needed to build. Then on second, we will start building. So kindly support this and help me. I'll really try to extend my stay this up country to ensure that this project is achieved. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain this. Ruto State House Kale Sanko has overtaken state appointments, and that is why I am not seeing, and that is why Rigathi Gachagua has even lost the bargain. Who is the head of public service? Is Felix Kosgei. Now, Felix Kosgei, as we talk now, there is a amendment that was taken to Parliament by, I think, Kimani Ichung'wah, taking the powers from Attorney General of appointing State Counsel to the office of public service. Now, the head of public service is the person that is coordinating state appointments in parastatals and other government entities. And Rebecca Miano, when at one point was even crossing paths with Moses Wetangula, because there was a circular that came from head of public service and there is another one that then came from the minister. You realize that there is somewhere there, Rigathi does not have an input. And you know, there is some plastic, there is some thin line in governance that I've realized now, is that we are not corrupt, so do not bring corruption. But in real sense, Mount Kenya cannot bargain more. They lost that bargain, even now, because the Kale axis in State House took over. The other day I also read about the Somali gang. They took over and they've been pushed to the end. And that is why there is something that Rigathi did that was very right. When Rigathi realized that the media and even State House officials were leaking photos and videos that would advance the narrative of him falling out with William Ruto, he decided, you know what? He retreated to current residents. And Rigathi, for better part of this year, since November, retreated to work in current residence and was never working from Harambee House. And largely it was to avoid some of those, and it was really mentioned that he realized that that was going on. He realized the issue of kingpinship was making a problem. He said, I am dropping it. He realized the shareholders was an issue, was dropping it. So that to some extent is what is happening. The moment, there are positions that people don't look up for. When you want to bargain, I've realized, is that don't, instead of eyeing to be a minister, you know, that I'll be put a minister. I think when you negotiate, you should even negotiate who is going to be the head of status controller of budget. Who is going, not the head of public service. Those positions are very prime and they are very pivotal. They are the fulcrum of government. Now, Rigathi and the team has been pushed out because of that, just that. Number two, the writer of that article, and I'm not profiling the writer. Actually, it was actually done by the Standard team. They are explaining about how the fact that Rigathi Gachagua is with these leaders, or rather has brought these leaders around him, he's going to have a bargain power. But I'm not saying that, because I want to tell you, all those leaders are just a phone call away from William Ruto. Someone like Imani Chungwa can receive a call from, and you know, these are hungry, these are power hungry. These are people that are angling for deals and opportunities. These are people that if they receive a call from William Ruto that, you know what, Kiongozi, I want to give you this tender to do this and this, they will run away from Rigathi Gachagua's side. So that shows you that these are not people you can even trust. These are people that have gotten an opportunity in power to eat. And theirs is not whether Rigathi Gachagua is the deputy president or not. That is not the interest. In fact, I could be wrong, but it could only be that only Moses Kuri, only Rigathi Gachagua is thinking about the Mount Kenya interest, even though nowadays it has been reduced to a Nyeri interest. So that is aspect number one, that leaders around him are power hungry and they're not going to do the best to help the situation. Number three, the gamer basket is shrinking. And it is shrinking very fast. The vote basket of Mount Kenya has gone down. And you know, if I am to bargain better, then I'm supposed to bargain with the value. You realize that as we speak now, there is a hula baloo created about, I don't know, making the railway to Nyanza. Do you know, to Kisumu, do you know that railway, kutoka Nairobi hadi Kisumu, is 12 hours. 12 hours, nearly almost one day. 12 hours kutoka Nairobi hadi Kisumu. So, what are we saying? It has been created, it is some giant project that has been created here to throw in a political token. What am I saying? Not that I'm against it. But again, Ruto is trying to make efforts to come to the west. More efforts to come to the Nyanza side. Because that basket is shrinking. And that basket is shrinking because of the betrayal. Do you realize that the word Kitaturamba trended for better part of this year? Why? Because Kenyans were telling the president that wewe ulitudanganya na saizi inaturamba. So that is one aspect. Because that basket is shrinking, they are not going to, you cannot bargain with what you don't have. You cannot say, I'm going to bring 6 million votes, while when intelligence looks at the numbers and the way, the kind of hostility there, they realize that, you know what, those numbers do not exist. Lastly, UDA party is weak. And I don't know why the Mount Kenya leaders, even this writer did not point out that. If you listen to the soundbite by Mutahi Kahiga, I'm not playing those videos because we have watched those videos. You know, throughout the year, we've been listening to those videos. Those who've been following our videos, our analysis. And Mutahi Kahiga was complaining that despite the fact that the Nyeri office is a regional UDA office, it is not getting a good treatment like the headquarters, or rather like he was complaining that there is no tea. Until Kahiga was even threatening that if tea is not going to be served in that UDA regional office in Nyeri, then he's going to withdraw his 70,000 subscription that he pays to UDA party. What am I saying? That Kwanza points out to you that there is no UDA, even the Uhuru William Ruto is not so much interested in it and is not pushing a UDA agenda there. There have been activation drive that has happened. It has even happened in some parts of Rift Valley. No single activation has happened in central Kenya, even though Jubilee is actually getting back there. With Uhuru coming back to the fold, I am not still convinced that Rigathi Gachagua will give Mount Kenya a better bargaining power. Now, I leave this to Mount Kenyans. Do you believe that Rigathi is going to have a better bargain for the region now? Because they had the best opportunity now to push and bring things home. But as we speak, Mau Road is still a mirage. Thank you. Welcome, Tim Bold. I am in Uyoma, Akele. Yeah, so I was talking about Adopter Family, and one of us reached out to me in a very special way, and I decided just to drive through and come to this place. So this is our package for Adopter Family from one of our friends in the US. He told me, Kevin, Shoshi is at home, is someone I know, and I want you to think around it and bring in something for her. So this is her package, and there's a very special case here, and that is why I am here, because as you can see, the Shosh you're seeing here is an 83-year-old Shosh, and there is a case. If you look at this house, this is where she stays, and this place, it's any imeisha imeharibika ile mbaya, so hata it's even leaking. We will get inside and look at how it is, but on my end is the daughter mwenye akona hapa, atatusaidia to explainie, but allow us to speak in the Luo. We will translate down there so that the information can be more clear and get out. Nango madhe. Ini miluongi nina.
An iluonga ni Jen Achieng.
Jen Achieng. Pimna ni to odak nade nikeche ngamano wachone modak loka chano wachona ni kae en matek kabisa.
En matek nikech en mama manonyuolo nyithindo 15.
15.
To bang'e nyithindego notho, wadong' ji ariyo. Koro bang' mwasebedo ni wadong' ji ariyo, yuto waonge. Kichaye nan to gowadwa. An bende jaoda notho higa mar 2003 koweya gi nyithindo. To lwedo be onge nikech kata somo ok nasomo. Nadhi atedo katin, natedo gi higni 13. Kane pok asomo. Ma kata somo nakia, kata mana kisunga kia. Koro osebedo ka mama wani oseiko nyithindo, mawadwa mogik nyocha tho higni 2 mokalo. To kana ndeyalo machon cha to nitie owetene mane ni Amerika, ne gin owete 2. Neno Ulo gi Paul. Koro Ulo nokuongo tho, to Paul noduogo tho bang'e. Paul ema yocho tho mogik. Koro bang' tho Paul
ni ema ne dwa gedone.
Paul ema ne dwa gedone.
To tho kapok otimo no.
Paul otho kapok otimo ni gedono. Koro chieng' kel Paul no, kama ne wiye koro lal godo. Mageno ne orumo gi kanyo.
Yes, guys, so she's a bit unstable. Hayuko that stable. That is why she will not really point out. She cannot present a big picture. She cannot communicate well because she's a bit feeble. That is why the daughter is speaking on behalf. Koro kana eto Paul emane wiye no lale.
No lale kabisa. Koro ena ng'at ma wiye lal. Koro chiemo no yude thagruok, dak matek nikech kata sani ng'ama odago onge. Ena ng'ama kokelne to eko nyalo chamo. Koro Paul no, gimomiyo Paul ne wito pache nikech Paul no ndiko ne pesa giko dwe.
Paul no ndiko ne pesa giko dwe.
Giko dwe, ma kata ka wang'a oyepo, na yudo ka pesa Paul ko. Paul ne oro pesa ko Amerika 20,000. Mano ni biro ne e dwe ka dwe. Kane luwo lweto wadgi maloka. Marusinga. Kosekel kucho, taikone pesa no kone. Koro kaka ne Polo to, kaka pesa no binu.
Guys, so what's happening? Shosh alikuwa, she was fine way back because they used to have a brother mwenye alikuwa in US, and the brother used to support her monthly. So since the brother passed on, he lost Akili, I think because of what had happened, he lost his way, and since then life changed, and it's been so difficult. That's what really I understand from this place. So odne ni wat no kacha uket par nikech angon nikech ochwe.
Uket par nikech ochwer. sama parno onge to chwera piny.
Ka koth ochwe to koth opiny.
Opiny. Koro parno ket ni geng'ruok go sama koth chwe tinyalo yudo kama ibanrie go.
To kama ogidin no.
Mano dirisa.
Mae dirisa ni?
Mae dirisa ni mane kaka en kata otieno. En kamano.
To nindo kocha koro?
Onindo kono to tede iye kanyo. Koro nikech kanyo watucho nikech iro.
Kanyo utucho nikech iro?
Koro kitedo to iro wuok godo. Mane kama iro.
To mae boxi?
Mano box moyiech. Mano box moyiech.
Guys, so I want us to do something very fast. This house was built Nogere Chon.
Nogere Chon.
And the person who conducted me to this story promised me, Kevin, can you adopt this family? Can you adopt Shosh? And for your December, adopt a family program, adopt these shows. And he has given me already 20 iron sheets. So I want to come back here before New Year. I want to establish a house for Shosh here before New Year. And as you see, the age has advanced. I already have 20 iron sheets, pieces of iron sheets. So I think I'll just need some addition, some bow. And I also want to do the plaster because hawezi endelea kumwono. I cannot use the mchanga to do it. So we will do the plaster na tumtengeneze nyumba. So if you can give me smithy, if you can give me any other thing, and even those people around this place, I want to come back here on 27th and put up a house for Shosh in adopting. Already I have 20 iron sheets, so I think I'll add only 15 because tulikuwa tunapata nyumba yenye anaweza pata mtu akiishi na yeye anaweza lala so nyumba igawe mara mbili. So we need that, and I'm reaching out to you. Let's do it and see what we can do. This is the family. I want us to adopt Shosh for this December, and I think we can do it.